What's up, YouTube? It is your boy JB, and we are here today with the review for Ready to Love Season 5, Episode number 4, you guys. The episode was titled Out of Your Comfort Zone, you guys. So I got to get through these videos relatively quickly today because I have a funeral that I'm going to at 2 o'clock. It's my friend that I told you guys that passed a few weeks ago. So they're finally having her funeral today. It's at 2 o'clock. So I got to get this video, another video, and Love After Lockup. Got to get those done and get myself ready for this funeral. But if you guys are watching this video or any other video on the channel and are not yet subscribed to the channel, I need you guys to do me a big favor and hit that subscribe button and stop taking me out on this date. Like button, share button, and with that out the way, without further ado, let's discuss Ready to Love, shall we? Alright guys, so I don't think this is going to be a lengthy review, but we're definitely going to get into it as we get into it, right? Shout out to Misha for that one. So this episode, you guys remember in the last one, it was the women who had the opportunity to send one of the guys home, right? You know, it's so interesting. We see the men and they meet up with Cat Daddy Extraordinaire Nephew Tommy. I was looking at the Gentleman's Lounge, right? The Gentleman's Lounge. This is my second season watching Ready to Love, right? But I'm just noticing that with the Gentleman's Lounge, it's a lot different than the Women's Lounge. Like, it's a lot different. I don't know what, but I mean, I'm like, wow, y'all, okay, whatever, right? So yeah, they're meeting up with Cat Daddy, right? I was looking at Corey in this episode, especially when they were with Tommy. Corey got some big ass elf like ears. I was looking at his ears. I'm like, damn, Corey got some big ass elf ears. And then they finally clued into me why Corey is the way that he is, right? Corey probably when he was in school, actually I gotta be honest, probably looked like me. My face, I still look the same from when I was a kid, right? I still look the same. Only thing about me was as a kid was I was this little skinny ass kid. I was skinny as hell. I had big ass ears and I wore glasses. I actually have a picture of myself from the second grade that I might post for you guys. It's actually if you guys go to my Instagram page, it's on there. It's like far down. Jbsayzwhat. If you go to my Instagram page, you'll actually see that old picture of me, second grade. I was just a little scrawny kid. I was scrawny, big ears, and I was actually a lot lighter than what I am. I was a little brown skinned kid, right? But yeah, I was like, Corey must have had some big ass ears. That's all I kept thinking was Corey had some big ass ears, and Corey must have been an awkward kid growing up. Now, I wasn't an awkward kid, but I'm like, Corey must have been an awkward kid, right? So Cat Daddy, he tells the gentleman that I want you to take all the ladies on a date, and I want you to get out of your comfort zone. Yeah, baby. And then at the end of the week, we gonna reconvene right here back in the Gentleman's Lounge. We gonna talk. Y'all gonna tell me about y'all states, and y'all gonna tell me who y'all liking and who y'all not feeling. And at that point, we'll move on. I don't know why Tommy does all of that. Oh yeah, Daddy. Yeah. You know, he just do. I'm just like, it ain't called for, Tommy. Just talk normally to the men, right? Hey guys. So today, this week, the men are in charge. This is how Tommy can do it. This week, the men are in charge. So what I need for you, each one of you men to do is take the women out on the dates, right? And then at the end of the week, we all come back here to the Gentleman's Lounge. You guys are going to tell me who you had a good connection with and who you guys didn't have a good connection with. And then from there, one of the ladies will have to say goodbye. See how easy that was without all the theatrics and the extraness? So the first date that we see, it is Aisha and Frank, right? So I want to put this on the forefront because this is something that I noticed with a good chunk of the dates in this episode, right? A good chunk of the dates, I noticed that there are connections between the singles, right? But the connection that I'm seeing, it's more so of a physical connection. It's not like a mental or even an emotional. Well, it can't be emotional just yet, right? But there's no mental. Like, I'm not seeing anything mental. I'm just seeing physical. Let's touch. I see a lot of that. So Amber ooh, where did Amber come from? Aisha and Frank are out on their date, right? Now Aisha and Frank, they said that they had an instant connection with each other, right? You know, he talks about her being a mom, he talks about her confidence, he talks about a lot of things, right? And the one thing I will say though about them both is they are very playful and they are very goofy with each other, right? But in the same respect, I still just saw a bunch of physical nature with them, right? They're playing pool. It's like, are you gonna teach me how to play pool? Because I don't know how to play pool. So and I mean, I know that happens when people go. If someone says they don't know how to play pool, they they're doing that, to get a little bit intimate, right? But I'm just still trying to figure, like, why are we not trying to, like, some people are, you stimulate me in the mind, that'll get me in the mood for just about anything else, right? I'm not saying sex. It'll just, if you can stimulate my mind, it'll allow me to basically, if I have a guard up, it'll allow me to basically let the guard down and be free and open to you as a person, right? But like I said, it's just a lot of physical, especially when they went and got in that photo booth. I'm like, why? I mean, I get it. It's cute. It's fun. And I'm going to talk about Frank a little bit more in this episode too. But we're going to pause here and we're going to move forward. All right, you guys. So next up, let's talk about Tyrone and Carrie, right? Now, you guys remember in last week's episode when the ladies met up with Tommy, Carrie was telling the ladies about the fact that she had a connection with Tyrone, which I found that quite odd that anybody had a connection with Tyrone. Because he's just, it's just when you look at his eyes, aside from the fact that you don't really know where his eyes are looking, it's just like blankness. It's just like, to me, it looks blank behind his eyes. It just looks very blank behind his eyes. Sorry, you guys, I was thirsty. It just looks very blank behind his eyes. But you guys remember that he told her that he was building connections with other people and he just didn't feel that the connection was strong enough between them, right? And I didn't agree with him doing that and then calling Shiloh and telling Shiloh what he actually meant. If you realized at that moment when you told her that, you should have been like, if you in that moment were like, damn, I shouldn't have done it that way. You should have called her right back and you'd be like, you know what, Carrie, that came out the wrong way. You know what I'm saying? That came out the wrong way. It wasn't my intention to hurt you or talk down to you or anything like that, right? You could have expressed to her how you really truly felt. So they're having a date, right? So he believes that now he used the word aggressive with Carrie. Me and Carrie both doubled back when he said aggressive, right? Because I'm like, aggressive? What? I mean, if you can, and maybe, and I was like, okay, I'm not going to sit here and say he didn't feel that it was aggressive, but I'm like, that might not have been the best choice of words to use, is aggressive, right? You could have said she had a very strong approach, right? And even when he expressed to her, I was like, okay, and even Carrie and I were both I said it to myself. I'm like, even what you expressed to her, that doesn't really that doesn't say that she was aggressive, right? So what happened is at the mixer, he was talking to Shiloh, and Shiloh gave him her number, and he said he looked off to the side and um he could see what is her name? What's this girl's name? Carrie. He could see her and her body language had changed. And I was like, okay, if her body language has changed, that still doesn't mean that she was coming at you aggressively. That just means that she peeped game. She just peeped something that, and she even said though that she knew that Shiloh liked him, so it wasn't anything aggressive. So then, he also talks about the fact that at 12:30 midnight, she had texted him with the question mark, basically asking where was this going. Now that one, I'm like, why would, now that one, I'm not going to use the word aggressive because I still don't think that was aggressive. I think that one was just doing too much, right? I think that was just doing a little bit too much. Like, you're going to ask him just because he got a number from another person, you're going to ask him, where do you guys stand? Go out on a date with him. have communications with him. Be like, hey, I know that you like Shiloh, but where do you see things progressing between you and I? That would have been better. But whatever. Maybe I'm wrong. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and we shall move on. All right, you guys. Next up, let's talk about Corey. So Corey is having a double date, and this double date is going to consist of Camille's crazy ass and Cornelius. I'm sorry, you guys. I just don't think that Cornelius is straight. He just does not give me the straight vibe. Gotta be honest with you guys. So it's Courtney, it's Camille, and it's Cornelius, and it's Corey, right? So, when it comes to Camille is an interesting one, because Camille just asks, I feel, some very inappropriate questions. But I also feel that she's an inappropriate person. That's just my personal viewpoint of Miss Camille. So Camille is talking to, what is his name? Cornelius, about sex, right? You guys know he wants to wait until sex. She ain't feeling that, right? But he's talking about, there's a connection between us, right? He feels that there'll be also a sexual connection between them. And this is another reason why I say that with most of these people on this cast right here, see, last season, Houston's cast, they were ready to be famous, right? They wanted fame and notoriety. This cast right here is ready for sex. That's what I feel. A good chunk of this cast is ready for sex. That's all it is. They just want to bang. It's so many of them that I just don't think are ready for love. I just think that some of them are ready for sex. So then she started asking him about finances. Now, didn't this conversation happen season 3 with what was his name? KG, and now y'all know I didn't watch season 3, but didn't this conversation, KG, and I think y'all said in the comments that her name is Naya. They had the conversation, and then last season Amber and KG had the conversation again. Why are we going this far? Why are you talking about finances? I just don't get it. So she has student loan debt. He is debt free. Only thing he has is his home that he owns. I'm like, oh, that's cool. So Corey is really corny. Gotta keep it real with you guys. Corey is corny as hell. But for some odd reason, Courtney was enjoying it. But you guys remember, Courtney is here's again another physical person, right? Because at one point they were talking. So they were talking and they were side by side like this. So then Corey comes and gets in front of her like this. And she's like, oh, is this what we're doing? He was like, I want you to know how serious I am. I'm like, Corey, dude. Here, see, once again, physical. Everyone is with the physical aspect, right? I don't do physical. I don't care about it. I really, like I told you guys last week, I don't like touch. I really don't. Unless I know you and it isn't our first or second date, then it's cool if you touch me and stuff like that. But if it's the first date or the second date, please don't put your hands on me unless I ask you. And I'm not going to ask you to. I'm not going to ask you, hey, you can rest your head on my shoulder. You can put your hand on my leg or my thigh. You can do that. No, I'm not going to do that. It's not me. That makes me cringe. But Courtney was into it. So I guess I ain't got nothing else to say about that. We're going to move on and talk about the next 3 dates. No, we're going to talk about 2. No. Yeah, let's go ahead. I think actually I want to wrap up. All right, you guys. Next up, we got Mumin. I cannot pronounce her name. Mumin. I'm going to say her name is Mumin. It's Mumin. Mumin, right? Mumin. I really should have watched that casting special to get a good glimpse of these people. Because I don't know her. No shade to you. Well, I don't know how to pronounce her name. But she and Walter, they're going to date, right? So looks like they're at like a botanical garden or a gazebo. Something like that, right? So they're having a conversation with each other, right? So there's a connection. But now see, me personally, I did not know that there was a, damn, that's a big ass fly on my car. I didn't know that there was a connection between Moomin and Walter. The only person that I thought he was really connecting with is Sabrina. Okay. I'm still looking at Ready to Love too, right? Because they still giving these people cheap ass dates. Have the dates always been like this since the beginning? Please let me know in the comment section below, you guys. Because last season they did a lot of outdoor dates, and we're gonna talk about in the next segment. We're gonna talk about the next date in just a little bit. And that date really was like, is this what we're really doing? But yeah, so Momeen and Moomin, whatever her name is, they're talking, right? So she asked him, does he want kids? He says yes, he wants kids. And he wants to be present in his kid's life because his father wasn't present in his life, right? He said that when he was 2 years old, his father moved away and he moved to the Philippines. Now, he didn't go deeper into why his dad moved to the Philippines. Was your dad a part of the, the military? Was he in the military? And he had to, but even still, why would he leave you and your mother? Me personally, I don't know if I would ever be able to forgive that, right? That's just like you left and never came back. So he says that his dad only says happy birthday to him on Facebook, right? I'm like, wow, that's fucked up. So she says, have you ever had a conversation with him? He says, yes. I wrote him a 6-page letter, and he wrote me a post-it note back saying I'm at your sister's house. I was like, well, damn. He don't really care. And from that point on, he was like, you know what? It is what it is with his dad. That is terrible. How do you your child sends you a letter telling you how they feel, and you can't even be bothered by it? Janky as fuck, right? So then, since he opened up to her, she opened up to him and said that she doesn't have the closest relationship with her father, and she talks about the fact that, what else did she say? I guess that contributes to her like an older man, girl, if you got daddy issues, I'm gonna need you to unpack those daddy issues before you even try to date. So as much as I do like Moomin, if you got daddy issues, you're just gonna bring those issues into a relationship. So you might want to get some therapy for that one, sis. You might want to get a little bit of therapy. You know what? Not being funny, but actually, yeah, I was about to say Corey, but I'm thinking about Walter. But Walter, and Corey could use some therapy because there's something there between. There's something not right about Corey as well. So we're gonna move on to the next date. Now, here's the date that I was confused as hell about. Right, Dante, Phil, Shiloh, and Carrie. Right, they're all having a date. I don't know who thought it was a good idea to have a date where you're working out. That's not a good date. Like if I was a woman and a man said to me, hey, let's go on a date to the gym, I'd be like, wait a minute, what are you trying to say? Are you calling me fat? Like, is that what you're saying? I'm fat? Because if you're saying that I'm fat, you can go to hell. So I would just be like, what the fuck? Why do we need to go to the gym? I have a gym membership. I go to the gym when I want to go to the gym. That is not a first date, a second date, or any date. Now, if we are in a relationship with each other and we both love the gym and we want to, go to the gym together and work out, that is different. Hell, even if we met at the gym, that's different. But taking me on a date to the gym, absolutely not going to happen. So the vibe between, I don't know if it was more so, I think it was really just him. I think, so they split up, right? So Dante and Carrie are talking, right? I just don't think Dante was feeling Carrie, and I think that's why there wasn't a vibe there, and that's why she was hella awkward, and she didn't have very many questions to ask. She did ask him if he wanted kids. He says, I already have kids. Like, dude, you knew exactly what she meant, because she said, I know you have kids. Do you want more? I was like, it's him. as much as he wanted to, as much as the guys wanted to try to play it off as her, it's you guys as well. You guys are not trying to build a connection with her. That's the issue that I have. You guys are not trying to build one with her. So then we also have Phil and what's that girl name? Shiloh. They're talking, right? So there is a connection between Phil and Shiloh, but like I said once again, I just think that it's a lot of physicalness. I just think it's a lot of physical attraction to each other, right? I don't necessarily. That's all I'm saying is physical, 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 physical. Because Phil and Shiloh, they were this close to each other, right? She was talking about, sneaking PDA. He's like, what does that mean? She walks by and she just rubs his like, it's a lot of physical with these people. Oh, I wonder if I'm the only person that's noticing this. I really do wonder if I'm the only, because I didn't get on Twitter, so I don't know what people are saying on live on via live tweeting. It's a lot of physical, and I haven't watched at this point. I know Misha posted her review earlier this morning, and I rolled over and saw it, but I haven't watched it yet, so I don't know if she even, like, I just don't know. But it's just a lot of freaking physical with these people. It's physical. I am not. Even the Houston cast wasn't this physical. Yes, they were. Yes, they were. Were they? Was the Houston cast as physical? I'm trying to remember. No, they weren't as physical. Because the Houston cast was just too worried about who was in who's top. That's what they were worried about, who was in who's top. But this cast is hella physical. Like, very physical. Physical. Like, we touching each other. We're touching each other. We're sitting super duper close to each other. It's just like, oh my God. But maybe that's what I don't know. Maybe that's what they like. Again, it's just not for me. Because that would be a huge turnoff to me. I just don't like that. Don't sit too close to me. Don't touch me unless I say, cool, give you the green light. Maybe I'm just nitpicking. Hell, I don't know. We're going to move on, though, because I definitely digress. All right, you guys, and then let's talk about this last date. So we had Frank. He's out with Tasia, right? Once again, I don't know what it is, right? Because Frank is on this date with Tasia, but he's talking about the fact that he didn't really have a connection with her. And then when he asked her about herself, she talked about her tech startup company, right? He was like, that's not what I'm talking about. Well, you got to see, my thing with Frank was, he's talking about her tech startup company. You asked her about herself, right? Well, that is a part of her. She quit corporate America about a year ago. She started her own tech company. She works whenever she wants to work. That is a part of who she is. If you want to know more about her, you have to open up your damn mouth and say, so tell me a little bit about Tasia. Like, because who was it? Actually, it was Naeem and Zadia, right? They're talking. Zadia literally asked Naeem what she wanted to know. What would his friends say about him? And he said that his friends would tell her that he's a protector and that he supports his woman, right? She asked him, does he spoil people? He says yes, with love and affection. She says she spoils her own self, right? That's how you engage a person. Like, if you don't want to, if you know that there's a specific question that you want to know about a person, you ask them. Don't ask them no blanket ass statement. Tell me about yourself. Because 9 times out of 10, most people are going to tell you, I'm 27, which I'm not. I'm 27. I have my bachelor's degree. I have my master's degree in this. I work for this company. I'm from so and so. They'll do that. But if you really want to gauge, like, ask the person, like, what's your favorite color? What do you like to eat? What kind of movies are you into? How many people would you say are in your circle that you talk to on the regular? What would your friends say about you? What would your friends say is the best quality about you? What would your friends say is something that you need to work on? Those are the questions. If you really want to know those questions, you ask them. Don't just sit there and say, tell me about you, because people are going to run down their resume. That is what annoyed me with Frank. People are going to run down their resume. If you know that you want to know something about her friends, her family, ask those questions. And if she can't answer those questions for you, then that'll tell you something, right? It'll be like, So if you can't tell me what your friends, will say about you, what do they say is your best feat, your best quality? What are the best qualities about you? What do they feel you can work on? What do you do in your spare time? What are your hobbies? Like, those are the questions that you ask, instead of, once again, a motherfucking blanket statement. Don't ask a blanket statement. And that's exactly what he did. But I also feel that Frank was asking that blanket statement because, once again, he's not that interested in Tasia. I think the men and the women, but more specifically the men, I think the men are doing what the Houston cast did last season. I think the men are trying to get as many women to like them, right? So that way, when it comes down to the women having to eliminate, they be like, oh, ooh, Frank, he treated me like this. He treated me like that. Ooh, Walter. Yes, I like Walter. Ooh, you like Walter? I like Walter too. Corey. Nah, I don't really feel it for Corey. Girl, I'm right there with you. I ain't feeling Corey either. Like, that's what the men are doing. I don't really see the women doing that, but the men are 100% doing it this season. I don't like it. I didn't like it last season, and I don't like it this season. Have a genuine connection with people. Don't use people just to get to the end of this fucking show. Like, I just wonder. Like I said last season, I know that with certain reality shows that are competition based, that the further you make it, the more money you keep getting paid. You get paid for every episode that you're in, right? Well, for however long you're in the process, you get paid for it, right? Like with Big Brother, I've talked about that before. Big Brother, at the end of it, however long you're in the house, you get a stipend for it. So I'm wondering, is it the same with Ready to Love? Like I said, it's the men. The men are the ones that are doing this. Now, last season, we had some women that did it. Kyra. So they meet up with Tommy to have their discussion about who they like, who they don't like. Well, actually, they didn't talk about who they don't like. They all talked about who they do like, right? So Corey, he likes, who does he like? He still likes, what's her name? Mumin. But Courtney is inching up. Somebody else said, who else? Somebody else said Courtney. I don't know. I don't really know. I don't like the men that much. Some of them, yes. Some of them, no. So they decided at the end of it that Carrie is not Ready to Love. So Carrie went out on a date. Now, see, that's the thing I always wonder too. What do they tell them when they go on these dates? Is it like do they not know that this is an elimination date and they be getting all dressed up? Hell no. I would have did like what's his name did last season. He didn't get dressed up. What was his name? The one that went out on that date with Liz? David. I would do what David did. Don't dress up. Now I wouldn't act like David did, but yeah. So I will say one thing that Frank did say in his date with Tasia. Tasia does have a wall up. I definitely do see that wall up with Tasia. I just want Tasia just to let it down. That's all. That's the episode, you guys. Let me know what you guys thought about it. Please leave your comments in the comment section below. And subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell button so you guys are notified when I drop anything else. Share the video. And until the next one, you guys, stay safe out there. Take care of yourselves. Remember to wash your hands, wear a mask, socially distance, be blessed. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. I'll see you guys for Love After Lockup. Now, I don't know when Love After Lockup is going to be up because it is almost noon in Texas. And I have to take a bath and get my clothes ready for this funeral. So we'll see. But I'll see you guys later. Bye, guys.